Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter, text 34 onwards. Yadi yesho parata devi maya vaisharadi matihi sampanna eveti vidur mahimni swe mahiyate. So Sud Goswami is further saying, if the illusory energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory. Just to give continuation of previous verse was, when a person experiences by self-realization that both the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord. And then, so Sud Goswami is talking about the self-realization, and realization starts with when he sees that he is a spirit soul and he has nothing to do with the gross or the subtle bodies. And then, if the illusory energy subsides, means if the effect or if the influence of Maya goes down, and he gets, by the mercy of the Lord, the living entity gets knowledge, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization, and thus becomes situated in his own glory. In his own glory means the soul is always made of Sat Chit and Ananda, and he is a servant of the Lord. So that is a time when he realizes that I am a servant of the Lord and all I have to do is serve the Lord. So far we have been serving these bodies. So Prabhupada writes, because the Lord is absolute transcendence, all of his forms, names, pastimes, attributes, associates, and energies are identical with him. His transcendental energy acts according to his omnipotency. The same energy acts as his external, internal, and marginal energies. And by his omnipotency, he can perform anything and everything through the agency of any of the above energies. So see, here Prabhupada is writing, all his energies are also identical with him. Means all the energies are also transcendental. And his transcendental energy acts according to his omnipotency. Nothing is beyond his control. So even the material energy, external energy, or which is called Maya, that's also part of his transcendental energy. Of course, the work of Maya is little different. That's all. So the Prabhupada writing, the same energy acts as his external, internal, and marginal energies. So we, the jivas, we are called marginal energy or tatastha shakti. Why marginal? We have a choice to be either under external energy or under the internal energy. We can be under Maya or we can be under Yog Maya. One of the energies we have to be under, because we are not the controllers of these energies. We think we are the controllers, but we are not the controllers. See, then Prabhupada is writing, he can perform anything and everything through the agency of any of the above energies. He can turn the external energy into internal by his will. Wonderful statement. He can turn the external energy, means the Maya, into internal, into Yog Maya, by his will. So Krishna is all powerful, he is omnipotent, and all his energies are his servants. So he can use them or he can engage them in any way he wants. Therefore, by his grace, the external energy, which is employed in illusioning those living beings who want to have it, subsides by the will of the Lord in terms of repentance and penance for the conditioned soul. So by his grace, by Krishna's grace, the external energy, the Maya, what is the job of Maya? Which is employed in illusioning those living beings who want to have it. So, employed in illusioning those living beings means it is for us, those living beings means us who want to enjoy or so-called who want to have so-called enjoyment under this external energy, then the Maya works on them and captures them. Subsides, then what happens? By the will of by the grace of the Lord, why the external energy, the effect of external energy or Maya, it subsides by the will of the Lord. And what happens in terms of repentance and penance for the conditioned soul? So all we have to do is repent for whatever mistakes we have made and do some tapasya. So then the effect of Maya will subside. And the very same energy, and the Maya, then acts to help the purified living being make progress on the path of self-realization. So very same energy. We say Maya is bad, Maya is bad. Maya is not bad. Maya is just energy of the Lord. The same energy can help us to make progress on the path of self-realization. And same energy can keep us in this material world. It depends on our desire. The example of electrical energy is very appropriate in this connection. The expert electrician can utilize the electrical energy for both heating and cooling by adjustments only. Similarly, the external energy, which now bewilders the living being into continuation of birth and death, is turned into internal potency by the will of the Lord to lead the living being to eternal life. The same Maya can become a part of internal energy to help a living being, to help a conditioned living being, but now since the living being is desiring to go back to spiritual world, so same Maya will help. When a living being is thus graced by the Lord, he is placed in his proper constitutional position to enjoy eternal spiritual life. So, when a living being is thus graced by the Lord, when a living being got the mercy of the Lord. Now, who will get the mercy of the Lord? Because Lord is not like he chooses some, okay, this person can have my mercy and this person cannot. It's not like that. So who will have the mercy of the Lord? That is explained further down in the other shlokas. The work of external energy or the work of Maya in this material world is twofold. Actually, it's not explained in this purport, but other places Prabhupada is explained. It's avranatmika, means the Maya covers the living entity who has a desire to enjoy. Then he covers the consciousness. He makes him think that I am the controller, I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer. And then he keeps that living being into her fold or into her what do you say jurisdiction. So the living being thinks, first he is thinking, I'm enjoying here, although he is not, he just covered over, and then he is stuck here, he cannot get out of here. And when he starts serving the Lord, he starts chanting, starts associating with the saintly people, then slowly, this covering starts getting removed. But then again, this is one of the thankless jobs of Maya, external energy. She has to make sure that we are qualified enough to go back to the spiritual world. Then she gives the tests. Lots of tests will be there. And lots of difficult tests will be there for the people who want to go back, who want to qualify to go back to the spiritual world. So that's why many times we see devotees undergo many extreme tests. Normal person doesn't even go through these tests. Because normal person, Maya knows they are under me, they are captured by me. So she doesn't need to test them at all. And not that severely. But the devotees or the transcendentalists, not just the devotee, any transcendentalist, if it is a yogi, he also undergoes, Jnani, they also have to undergo lots of tests. Because Maya, it's not like Maya wants to keep them under, but Maya wants to make sure that this person is qualified enough. So the testing has to be there. Just like our kids, when the kid is studying in first grade or second grade, but to make sure that they're qualified to go to next grade, there's some test. Of course, at the time of the test or exam, the kids, they don't like the teachers much. No, what kind of teacher is that? And this and that. They cry a lot, this, that. But no, it's for their own benefit. That's what the teacher is doing. So throughout the year, the teacher trains them, teaches them. But at the end of the year, she or he has to give the test, give the exam. So similarly, Maya does that for us. And this is by will of the Lord, she's doing that. And Prabhupada is writing very nicely, the same Maya becomes Yoga Maya for a person who wants to get out. She helps also. But the help comes in a little different way. Help comes in the form of test or exams. So we should not be afraid of the exams. The process of bhakti is so powerful and so enjoyable that even if the test is there, test has to be there. But then, see, Krishna is also controlled by his devotees. That's one of the things Krishna cannot run away from, and he enjoys it actually. So since Krishna is controlled by his devotees, so if there is a test for a devotee, then the other devotees help him. Like if there's an exam and other people come and give him some cheating is done or this and that, just pass the exam, just get out of here. It's okay. Just qualify, get out. So other devotees help the devotee. So this is the beauty of bhakti process. So devotees come and help. Okay, Maya is giving the test, fine. The other devotees come and help him. So he gets out. He passes with flying colors. So this is good part of bhakti. In yoga and Gyan Yoga, Hatha Yoga and Gyan Yoga, a person has to endeavor. He has to put in the hard work on his own. Others can help him in the way, okay, do it this way, do it that way, but that's about it. But in Bhakti Yoga, the devotees can really come and help. And then Maya, because then Krishna allows it, and Maya cannot do anything. So that is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga. So next verse, Sud Goswami is saying, Evam janmani karmani hiya kartur janasya cha varnayanti sma kavyo vedguyani hritpate. Thus the learned man described the birth and activities of the unborn and inactive, which is undiscoverable even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart. So, to get the mercy of the Lord, so learned people have described his activities in the scriptures. And what kind of person they have described of? The birth and activities of whom? Of the unborn and inactive. That is an oxymoron, we can say. He's unborn, he doesn't actually take birth, he appears. And he's inactive. Inactive means he doesn't do activities out of karmic obligation. He does pastimes. He does his leelas. So there's a big difference. And he is the Lord of the heart. Both the Lord and the living entities are essentially all spiritual. Therefore, both of them are eternal and neither of them has birth and death. The difference is that the so-called births and disappearances of the Lord are unlike those of the living beings. The living beings who take birth and then again accept death are bound by the laws of material nature. But the so-called appearance and disappearance of the Lord are not actions of material nature, but are demonstrations of the internal potency of the Lord. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I appear by my own internal energy. So whenever he appears and performs his pastimes, he does it as per his demonstration of the internal, as per his Yog Maya Shakti. And whenever we take birth and we do our, not pastimes, we do our activities, karmic activities, that all comes under external energy or Maya. So they are described, the activities of the Lord are described by the great sages for the purpose of self-realization. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord that his so-called birth in the material world and his activities are all transcendental. And simply by meditation on such activities, one can attain realization of Brahman and thus become liberated from material bondage. Simply by meditation on such activities. Earlier days, this meditation might have been a little difficult because there were no pictures. But now we have movies. Now we have serial like Little Krishna is there or other movies are there. We don't have to read. We can just watch and still get involved, or still can get. We can still think on or meditate on those pastimes of Krishna, and they'll still purify us. In the Shrutis, it is said that the birthless appears to take birth. Just like we have a wonderful devotee in Delhi, and his name is Ajanma Krishna Prabhu. It's Ajanma. Krishna doesn't take birth. Maharaj gave him the name Ajanma Krishna Prabhu. So he appears to take birth. Krishna appears to take birth. The Supreme has nothing to do. All his energies take care of everything. But because he is omnipotent, everything is performed by him naturally as if done automatically. As a matter of fact, the appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his different activities are all confidential, even to the Vedic literature. Yet they are displayed by the Lord to bestow mercy upon the conditioned souls. And he does these activities to bestow mercy, to enjoy with his devotees, to enjoy with his close associates, and to increase the rasa, increase the taste of those close associates. At the same time, like his pastimes of killing so many demons. At the same time, then he bestows mercy on those demons also. Because anybody or everybody who gets killed by the hands of Krishna, he gets liberated. So another mercy. So everything and anything he does is basically mercy. That's all he is. Because he's made up of mercy only. Compassion, mercy, that's all. He cannot do anything except compassion, being merciful. We should always take advantage of the narration of the activities of the Lord, which are meditations on Brahman in the most convenient and palatable form. So people who want to meditate on Nirvikar or Jyoti or something, it's not very easy. They say it's very easy, but it's not easy. Mind is so restless, and then to concentrate on something which has no form. I mean, even to concentrate on something which has form, it's difficult. Or to speak of concentrating on something which has no form. So that's a proper thing. It's more convenient and more palatable to think of or to meditate on the activities of Krishna. And these activities are so sweet, his pastimes are so sweet. Just like yesterday or a day before, we were at Barsana, we were doing Parikrama of Barsana, and there's a place called Sankri Kor. Sankri means it's a very, very narrow passage between two hills. And those hills are all made up of rocks, solid rocks. And to walk over, those who have been to Barsana, they know, to walk on that path, and it's basically rocks, and that passage could be about 50 meters or so long. And rocks are not like all flat rocks, they're all tricky way to walk on those. And gopis would walk on those rocks with so many pots on their heads. And it's very narrow. For us, it takes hard. It takes quite an effort to hold on to one side of the hill, grab onto the rocks, and then slowly walk. But gopis walk on those rocks without holding on to any part, and they have 3 or 4 parts on their heads, and balancing those parts, walking on those rocks without holding on to anything. It's miracle, nothing less than miracle. And Krishna would be sitting on one side of the hill with his cowherd boyfriend, and then he would be doing this pastime of asking for the toll. And anybody who wants to go through this place, he has to pay the toll. What is the toll? Toll is of give me yogurt and butter and milk. And then there would be fight between him and gopis and all sorts of activities. But why would he do everything like that? He is the owner of everything, but he wants to increase the pleasure of those gopis. Because there is also another path crossing that hill that is little longer and that is completely flat. But gopis would always go through this narrow path only, which is most difficult to go through. And they knew Krishna would be sitting there. But they knew Krishna is sitting there, and to get more pleasure, because Krishna is sitting there, they would choose this path only. This would give lots of pleasure to everybody. And this is what the whole idea is about bhakti, in bhakti. We can have a very difficult path to go through. We can have many difficulties in our lives on the path of bhakti. But if it is for my purification, if it is for our purification, and if it gives pleasure to Krishna, but Krishna is not pleased by putting devotees in difficulties. Krishna is pleased when they come out, while going through the difficulties, they remember Krishna, and when they come out of the difficulties, they're more purified and more surrendered. This is what gives it pleasure. So this pastime, all the pastimes, so many million and trillions of pastimes. So whatever we can remember, whatever we can think, or whatever we can meditate upon, it actually purifies us, because all the pastimes are non-different from Krishna. His name is non-different from him. His activities are non-different. So anything we can meditate on related to Krishna, it completely purifies our consciousness. It keeps on purifying us. So it's already 8:55, so we'll stop here. See if anybody has any question or comment.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, brother.
While reading this verse 34, you said, the illusory energy becomes helpful to the devotee who is keen about self-realization, right?
Yeah, that's a proper rights in the purport.
So the devotees become helpful to each other, and they try to bring out the other devotees, those who are serious, out of the illusory energy. But sometimes, because we are working with the devotees, our life revolves around the devotees when we take this Krishna consciousness. Sometimes the devotees also become the object of our attachment.
Okay.
So the illusory, if the devotee is serious and sincere, also sometimes the illusory energy is testing the devotee, right?
Yeah.
So how can we say that the devotees become helpful?
Helpful in the sense by them giving us association, by them inspiring us, by them feeding prasadam. That's always helpful. By engaging the devotee in the service of the Lord, that's a help. Because a person, when he's undergoing test, he might become morose, might become discouraged, might. So if the other devotees get together, no, 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 come on, Prabhu, we are going to help you. And they still engage him in the service. And they still inspire him to chant and read. So that's help. Just like this devotee, Kal Krishna Das, when he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Mahaprabhu went to South India. So this Kal Krishna Das got enamored by a group of gypsies in South India. Of course, Mahaprabhu protected him, but when Mahaprabhu brought him back to Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu said he cannot remain in my association anymore because he got enamored by these gypsies ladies. But the devotees, even beginning with Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, everybody, they felt so compassionate on this Kal Krishna Das. They didn't just discard him. Oh, Mahaprabhu has discarded you, we will also discard you. Get out of here. You're good for nothing. No, they still engaged in the service. They said, okay, why don't you go to Navdvip and give the news to Shachi Mata and all the devotees there that Mahaprabhu has returned, and you tell them about all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, what he did for 2 years when Mahaprabhu was in South India. They still engaged him in the service, kept him in the service. So this is the magnanimity, this is the compassion of the devotees' hearts.
So the devotees, the true devotees actually engage even those who are fallen.
Yeah, and this is what makes them dear to Krishna. This is actually what the compassion and the magnanimity, this is what makes them dear to Krishna, and in our case, Srila Prabhupada also. This is what Prabhupada wants to see us doing.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
It's very easy to discard somebody, to get rid of somebody. It's very easy, but it's more difficult to again give him association, again give him service, again show him compassion. That is most difficult thing to do. If Prabhupada hadn't shown compassion to all the devotees who were hippies in the beginning, and even then they fell down, and Prabhupada still showed them compassion, brought them back. If Prabhupada hadn't done that, where would the ISKCON be, and where would we be at this time right now? So this is the most important quality of bhakti, or bhakta, is compassion.
So what is that which is preventing the devotees from being or feeling compassionate towards the other
devotees? We become judgmental. Or like it is said then, when it comes to see others' faults, we become the biggest judge. When it comes to see our own faults, we become the biggest lawyers to defend ourselves. Why become judgmental? Let Krishna judge. No? He is the best judge. Our job is to serve. Our job is to show compassion. Our job is to help. And this is what is going to please Prabhupada and Krishna, nothing else. This transformation of the heart from being judgmental to being helpful, that is what is going to please Prabhupada and Krishna. And who doesn't have faults? Like Jesus Christ also said, in one of the incidents what happened, some lady had committed adultery, and all the villagers, they got together, they were going to punish her. And Jesus, the case came to Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, okay, anybody who hasn't committed crime or a sin can punish her. So every villager just went away. We all are sinful, so how can we judge others as being sinful? Our job is to help. We say every time, Mahatma Gandhi also, Jesus Christ also said that, hate the sin, not the sinner. But we do it the other way around. We all are fallen, simple as that. We all are struggling in Maya. We all are fallen. We have to help each other to get out.
Thank you very much for the time.
Thanks a lot. So thank you all very much. It's been wonderful yatra, and I don't know, everybody is writing so much about the birthday wishes. Gosh, I haven't done anything like that. Whatever I get so much accolades for, but thanks anyway. I accept that as your mercy. And you have a wonderful day today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mata.
Hare Krishna.